According to Statista.com, over 1.4 billion mobile phones were sold worldwide in 2015. And in the US alone, there are over 190 million smartphone users. So odds are most of you in this room have a smartphone. All of you use them on a daily basis and they become a mainstay in our society. These devices have become so powerful and so versatile over the years, but what's the most important thing about them? Information. Your phone carries so much information about you. The question is, who gets access to that information? Only you, your friends, or significant other? What about the government? We all have lines we draw on who can access what to our life, but are there situations where the line holds no merit? What if your parents want to see what you're up to? What if your little cousin really wants to play Angry Birds? What if you killed somebody? This was a question raised on December 2nd, 2015, along with the months that followed suit. San Bernardino experienced one of the worst shootings in American history, and at the center of it, an iPhone. The phone shot to try and hide evidence, put major players in the security landscape against each other. Today I'll explore each player in the case and whether or not there's a point in which a person is no longer guaranteed the right to privacy on their cell phone. A little background information. On December 2nd, 2015, Tashif Malik and her husband Saeed Rizwan Farouk attacked a Christmas party hosted at Farouk's work. The attack killed 14 people and injured 21 more. The couple led police astray on a chase and were eventually killed in a shootout reported by CNN, leaving prosecutors nothing but evidence to try and piece together what happened on that terrible night. However, one of the biggest pieces of evidence that could not only bring some answers to the situation, but could also protect others from future attacks, was being protected by a fruit. The first player is Apple. Apple initially denied the FBI's request to break into their phone to allow them to access the information that was stored on it. Apple's mantra is that privacy is their highest priority, stating that they don't want to let anyone into your phone. They don't want to let hackers or the government or anyone that wants to try to get your phone in. They have to go to such extreme lengths to protect their image as a company. If Apple says that we won't even allow you to get into killers' phones, then there's no chance they'd allow anyone to get into your phone, which could bring a sense of security to iPhone users all around the world. They also don't want to compromise themselves as a company. Apple giving the FBI a backdoor into the iPhones compromises every single iPhone out on the market until they can either release an updated firmware or until a new phone comes out. And by doing so, it gives the FBI the ability to break into any iPhone whenever they choose, which isn't in Apple's best interest, especially if they want to protect their customer base. Apple is also concerned that they might break into other devices, according to the Electric Frontier. They said that the iPad and other devices, such as the iPod and some Macs, also use same peripherals in security measures and could also be opened up if they're given a backdoor to the iPhone. The second interest is the FBI. They want answers to why this shooting took place. They want to find the reason for why these people did it and what drove them to go to this place. The FBI's justification for getting this backdoor was also that they may need it again, considering that Tashif and Saeed were both known propagators of ISIS and had been in contact with various people. They said that the FBI said that if they catch these people, they may need to get into their phones as well if they also have iPhones. And so having this backdoor could allow them to stop further attacks and prevent harm against the American society, according to CNBC.com. Also, according to the New York Times, the FBI eventually did break into the iPhone, giving them a backdoor, and without Apple's cooperation, they may be more likely to use it again if Apple stands in the mud like a stick. The third interest is the victims and their families. They want closure. Many of their loved ones were either hurt or killed on this day, and having no answers for them is very difficult. But knowing that such things like this iPhone that may hold answers on why this happened, or could this have been prevented, or couldn't this be prevented again, could bring a lot of peace to the victims and their families. They also believe that it's an immoral act to protect the rights of killers. These people have clearly demonstrated that they no longer want to be part of a society by breaking the laws that govern it. And so by protecting them like they are still citizens of said societies is deemed as immoral by some of the victims' families. The final interest is cell phone users. Not only iPhone users, but also Samsung users, or Huawei users, or Poco users. Any other cell phone company is now also being put at stake. Because if Apple gives up their iPhones, then what's to say Samsung should prevent theirs, right? What if someone commits a crime and Samsung's at the middle of it all? Is Samsung now a bad guy because they didn't and Apple did? So, but so not only is Apple and the iPhone put on blast here, but other phone companies are also taking watches. They may be in similar situations in the not so near future. With all of this in mind, I'm going to open the floor up to you and ask, where is the line in the sand? Does privacy depend on situation or maybe the person that wants it to access the privacy? Also, are there certain situations that a person then begins to lose their privacy? The second question is, how should the FBI now use this backdoor on the iPhones now that they have access to all of them? Should they use it at their discretion, at the Supreme Court's discretion, at the president's discretion, at Apple's discretion? What stops them from using it in whatever case they would like? The third question I have is, if a similar case came up with a different phone manufacturer, especially a foreign one, do you think the interaction between the FBI and the phone company would be different? As in, let's say Samsung, a company based out of South Korea, or Huawei, a company based out of China. Do you think they would deny the FBI faster because their security is also intertwined with their government security, and by compromising that, they may compromise their own nation's security against America? In the conclusion, this issue is tricky, and in today's modern age, the privacy line is constantly changing from one piece of technology to the next. We see more and more that wars are being waged between big tech companies and different governments around the world. Some of you feel that the government can't be trusted, and others feel that it's necessary they have this tool at their disposal. Whatever the case, I'm not sure this will be the last debate, and privacy and the line at the digital sand.